Hi, I'm up here in this spooky old house, and I've gotten into the attic, and you can see the exposed wiring up here. And this right here is actually the back of the wall that's on the other side. Turns out 100 years ago they had to put on the plaster by hand, and it squeezed through these little boards called lath, and that's what holds it in place, is the fact that it squeezes through. But the plaster that they had back a long time ago meant that they had to have what was called a binder. And the binder that they used was horsehair. You can't see it very well from here. As a matter of fact, even if I did a real close up, you would have a hard time telling. But if you got a microscope out or even a magnifying glass, you would see that it's slightly fuzzy. And that was the horsehair that they used to hold the whole thing together. Now, they smoothed it out and painted it so you would never know there's horsehair on the back, and today they have modern ways of dealing with binding plaster together that horses no longer need to fear the barber coming to get their hair. But a long time ago, they recognized that for plaster to work the way they wanted it, they needed to have some sort of binder, something to hold it together. And back in the day, it was horsehair. Today, in our lives, we have binders as well, don't we? We have things in our life that we recognize are what holds us together. The things underlying everything we do. Well, you can think of it as philosophical, you can think of it as spiritual, but somehow or another, the better you and I are able to explicitly know within ourselves why we do it. Now, I'm not talking just the licensure, that's important. I'm not talking the degree, also important. All of those things are 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 what we're going to hang on our wall. But what's here? What's binding us? That's the key. And basically, it's just like this horsehair. If you never came around back, you'd never know it was there. So your clients, your friends even, might never know the binder that's there, the reason that you're going into a helping profession, the what gets you up in the morning and excites you to be able to help people in a way that possibly no one else can, from your experience, from your standpoint, from all that you bring to who you are. That motivator, that spiritual glue, the horsehair, is what's going to keep it going. And really, the plaster has the advantage over us in that it doesn't have to think about its horsehair. You and I will benefit from that periodically, coming to the realization that when we look at our lives, when we look at our motivation, when we remember why we're doing what we're doing, it can help us get out of bed during the hard times. It can help motivate us during the uphill slogs. It can be the thing that makes the difference between success in a tough situation and failure. So, if somebody tells you, hey, you are going through a hard time, but remember your horsehair. No one will say that. But if they did, you'd know what they meant. You'd know to go back, to go back to why it all started. And that might be the push you need to get up the hill the rest of the way.